7 days after the Independent National Electoral Commission shifted the elections, it is now hours to the D-Day, and Nigerians are really, really anxious and anticipating that history will be made tomorrow as they go to the polls to elect their president that will be installed in May 29th. But with me in the studio is someone that has been on INEC beat for a while and will be telling us about the readiness of INEC this time. Interestingly, by this time last Friday, we never knew there was going to be an adjustment. So right now, he's going to give us an update into what it is like from the INEC angle. With me is the Assistant Deputy Editor, Vanguard Media, Mr. Clifford Ndujie. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You've been on this for a while, and the election is just hours counting down. How much preparation do you think is in place for this to happen tomorrow?
Yeah, from the Lagos point of view, I was the INEC this afternoon.
Okay.
The kind of security I saw there, I've not seen it before, and I've been covering INEC since 1998. I saw the anti-bomb unit, I saw an APC, I saw soldiers, I saw policemen, and other security people. They were all over the place. No parking space, no breathing space, and all that. And then I went in, I looked around. I saw the public affairs officer and other officers. They are getting things ready. They are setting up. They were setting up the media center when I got there. And then I asked him about their readiness. I taunted him in a way and I said, I hope we're not going to have another postponement like we had last week. He said no. That this time around, they are ready.
By this time last week,
yes,
they said the same thing. And is there a chance that there's going to be a surprise before tomorrow?
Well, you can never say never. Anything is possible.
Okay,
but we are sure that it will go on. Okay,
talking about the distribution of sensitive materials to their various states, there was a rumor, over the week that there has been some misplacement of some materials. A state, what state is getting what is not theirs. For example, maybe what belongs to Lagos was found in another state.
Okay.
And that is one of the reasons why the election couldn't hold last week, logistic reasons. So now is that true? Let me ask you first.
Yes, it happened. Some were found in other states.
Okay.
But the INEC assured us that that has been taken care of.
Okay.
That they gave a timeline where some of these things will be corrected, when the categories will be configured, and all that.
Okay.
They said that has been done.
The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, was said to be on the field himself to inspect or to monitor the transportation of these materials.
Yes.
Did that happen?
Well, that is from Abuja. That happened in Abuja and all that. It didn't happen in Lagos. I can't say that he did that for sure, but it was reported that he did so. This time around, I think what we need to move forward is trust. Trust, have faith, do whatever we have to do on our part to ensure that this election holds.
Okay, this is INEC's baptism of fire. So it is more of INEC than the people and their preparation.
Really?
From the Lagos angle, it's a presidential election, so there should be little shine on the Lagos office. Why are there so much armed men, like you described, still in that place? I think the whole focus should be at Abuja.
No, you see, anything can be done. You see, Lagos has about 5.2 million people who collected PVC.
About 5.5.
Apart from the 6.5 million that registered, 5.5 collected their PVCs.
Okay.
That is a significant number. If anything happens in Lagos, it will in a way undermine the elections. The place could be bombed, for instance.
Okay.
If they bomb that place, something will go wrong. That is why I have that measure of security in place.
Okay, talking about security also, as the connectivity between INEC and the security operative, and how to ensure that in the end our vote counts. What is that connection like? Connection between INEC and security? Yes.
One of the things these people campaigning, they say, is police protecting your vote. If you vote and then it's not protected.
Yeah.
And when you talk about protection of votes, the security agencies come into play.
Okay.
Theirs is to ensure that after voting and counting and all that, they also have to protect the materials, the ballot papers, have to be protected. Because if anything happens and you go to court, at times the court will ask that you go recount. Now, if the papers have been tampered with or destroyed, what will you recount?
You've been at the polling unit over time covering elections.
Definitely.
Are we supposed to be expecting police security operative carrying guns on, this polling unit?
Yes, they will be there.
Wouldn't that make voters uncomfortable?
On the contrary, I've spoken to a number of people who are scared of going to vote because they fear violence.
Okay.
The presence of security men, armed security men, will in a way give some people confidence and the courage to go and vote.
And how about some others that may not feel very comfortable with that?
You can't rule that out.
Are we supposed to be having high level of armed men to the teeth at the polling unit? It has been a subject of discussion.
Okay.
Now we are looking at what INEC is doing rightly or is trying to do to ensure that the votes are protected. Okay, but then again, this is democracy.
Yes.
And we have to look at what makes the people comfortable. So, do you think it could, one way or the other, influence the outcome of the election?
No. From what I understand, it's not as if soldiers will be at the polling booths. No.
Okay.
They'll be far off in a way.
Okay.
Police people and perhaps NCDC and all those people, National Security Defense Council, they are the ones who will be very close to the polling booths and all that. The soldiers will be on the road.
Okay.
Ensuring that you don't move with voting materials and all that.
Okay, let us, if you're just joining us, this is updates on election, and we are looking at how much preparedness INEC has put in place to ensure that tomorrow is sacrosanct and this election takes place. Okay, so you can send your comments in and let us know the feel from that angle. Mr. Ondujie,
yes,
it's a restricted day tomorrow.
Definitely.
So what could pose a security breach in the part of the citizens? Where can't I walk to? How long can't I walk?
Yes. You have no business being on the road outside your voting area, except you are on essential duty and you have accreditation. Otherwise, you'll be looking for trouble.
Okay.
So people are advised, go cast your vote. If you want to stay near where you cast your vote, stay there, and then thereafter, go home. Don't be found moving about, loitering about and all that.
Okay, Nigerians on social media, have been saying a lot of things about their readiness.
Okay.
People really, really want to vote. Like you said, 5.5 million persons have gotten their voters card and ready to, make decisions with them tomorrow.
In Lagos.
In Lagos alone.
Yes.
Okay, out of that lot,
yes,
do you think that I don't even want us to put a percentage to this. I want us to talk about real figures now.
Yes.
Do you think we are likely to get about 5 million people casting their votes tomorrow in Lagos?
I doubt it.
Why?
Voters turnout over the years in Nigeria has not exceeded 50% at most.
Okay, so
out of that 5.5 million, if we achieve 2 million, it will be a plus.
I think that would be
in Lagos. If we achieve 2 million, that would be a plus. I would be surprised if we achieve 2 million.
No, I'm surprised.
2.5 million, really.
I'm surprised that you think we are going so low, because there seems to be enough. Or let me ask you, do you think there's enough sensitization for this election?
Yes, there is.
From the part of INEC?
Not necessarily on the part of INEC. On the voter sensitization is not only INEC.
Yes,
you have the National Orientation Agency.
Okay.
You have the political parties. You have the candidates.
Now you're looking like
you have the media.
We are looking at how INEC themselves have promoted this project. This is their own business.
As far as I'm concerned, INEC has not done enough on its part.
Did you get any message in the course of the week
about
voting?
No, I have not. I didn't get anything from INEC, and even their presence.
I got a message.
Okay, I didn't get.
Okay.
Even their presence in the papers by way of advert is not much. So they could have done better, really. But
okay. Now, talking about this, is that now to say that there's enough preparation to ensure that the votes, the numbers actually turn to the real numbers we're expecting?
Is there what? I want to get a question.
That now that you are querying INEC's sensitization, which you say is not enough. Am I correct?
Yes.
Is there now going to be a surprise tomorrow? Because you said earlier that INEC seemed to be ready.
Yes.
So if we have 5.5 million people from Lagos, and we are not expecting 3 million persons to cast their vote tomorrow,
Yes.
I don't think that is enough readiness.
No, the people coming out to vote is no longer. Yes, INEC has a role to play, sensitizing them and all that, making them understand the importance.
Okay.
But the way the polity is, the awareness is there already.
Okay.
The elections have been on, so much has been happening in the country. There have been so much debate, there have been so much contestation, and a lot of people are ready to go and vote.
Okay.
It's not INEC per se. There will be other factors and issues.
Let me read something from the social media.
Yes.
Hashtag Nigerian Decides 2019. Nigeria has been saying a lot of things on social media. And this person said something that I want you to react to.
Okay.
He said, "Dear electorate, be wary of fake news. It is the season where emotions are high and people are quoted out of context to gain political mileage."
Yes.
INEC cannot control the social media. INEC is expected to be the exclusive one that announces this result.
Okay.
What is INEC doing to ensure that, to curb the news? Of course, we are going to see results tomorrow before the eventual results.
Okay.
So what do you think, what is INEC doing to ensure that they parley well with the social media, to curb the flying around of fake news or fake results?
Well, there's nothing INEC can do about that. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we don't seem to get it at times. The results are there.
By we, you mean
the parties can get the results after, once the results are announced. They can get the result because the results will be announced at the polling booth level.
Okay.
So a strong party that has agents in all the polling booths can collect results.
But are they supposed to make any announcement about those results?
No, that has been said that no party should announce results.
Okay.
You must wait for the returning officer to announce. And for the presidential election, the INEC national chairman is the returning officer. And it's going to be announced in Abuja. Even if you have the figures, you cannot announce. The law does not allow us to announce.
Okay, there's another person here saying, "I refuse to settle for mediocrity. I choose not to reinforce failure. As Nigeria decides 2019, tomorrow my vote is for a better Nigeria."
Okay.
Inshallah, let's get Nigeria working together. Now, we've talked about sensitization. This is an individual that is trying to, show how much ready he is to cast the vote. And this is also supposed to string out to some other persons too.
Okay.
Would this little orientation and sensitization, would you say it was not enough to ensure that we have 5 million voters success rate tomorrow in Lagos?
Well, the way I say this thing, some people will say, look as if campaign started 3 months ago.
Okay.
The way I look at it, campaign started 3.5 years ago.
Okay. It started 3.5 years ago.
Yes, 3.5 years ago, people have been talking. This government is working. This government is not working. That one is performing. This one is not performing. We are going to do this change. We are not going to do that change, and all that. It's part of sensitization. It's part of mobilization. But whether that is enough to make people leave the comfort of their homes to go and vote is another thing.
3.5 years ago, presently we have over 70 parties that are fronting 91 political parties, but about 70 of them are 73. Okay.
Of which like 20 presidential candidates have endorsed some
other persons. Okay. 3.5 years ago, some of those parties were not existing.
Yes.
Do we continue to get those figures from INEC angle? Do we supposed to continue to register these parties, knowing that they don't have, enough strength to contest at the national level?
The hands of INEC, their hands are tied.
How tied? How?
They follow the law. The law says once you show presence in 24 states or thereabout, you have officers in 24 states and all that, and you submit your name. After 31 days or thereabout, you must be registered as a party. That is one thing I fear that might hamper this election. We may not get the result until around Wednesday. I fear that.
That we may not get the final result until Wednesday.
I fear that.
Why? What?
Because the parties are many.
Okay.
I foresee them sorting ballot papers to maybe around 10.
So if this is a problem, okay, do you think this is a problem?
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge on INEC's part.
Yes, and even on our part. It's a collective something.
Okay, so what do we do? Because there will be lots of anxiety. Who wait till Wednesday before getting out what they actually want from here?
That is where we have to encourage ourselves.
Okay.
Between that period, 72 hours and all that, we have to. That is, you asked me about the security area.
Yeah.
That is where they come in.
Okay.
And that is what will create room for manipulation.
Okay.
Some of these places are not if they have light. Some of the polling booths are in schools. No lights, open field and all that.
Where are we supposed to have our polling units?
No, you don't understand me.
No, I'm asking you now. Where do you think that we should have our
We've
polling
not
units?
developed to that extent, and it involves a lot of money. If they were to build houses for polling booths and all that, it's going to cost a lot of money. That's why they are using open spaces.
So it is not out of place.
That.
It is not out of place
It's
to
not
use
out
an
of
open
place,
space.
but it's going to pose a challenge.
Okay, so somebody is saying here, Ismail for you. It says the ballot is stronger than the bullets. Go out and vote. Your votes count. Your future at your fingertip. Let's join hands and move on.
Yes.
Now it talked about fingerprint, and that takes me back to the introduction of voting and multiple voting.
Yes.
I need you to still give a word, because we can't stop talking about it until we get to the poll.
Definitely.
Which finger can't I vote with?
You can vote with any of your fingers. Any.
It used to be the thumb before.
Yes.
Why was it changed?
There are many parties.
Okay.
And then the column where you vote keeps getting tinier and tinier and all that. So if you use your thumb, you run the risk of voiding your vote.
Okay.
But once it crosses the line, the vote is voided.
Okay.
So if you have your thumb is big, you can use your little finger, just a tip.
Okay, so it is
and then when you fold it the other way around, so that you wait a little, so that the ink will dry. You fold it the other way around, because if you fold it this way, the ink can cross over to the other place and then render your vote.
Would there be somebody at the poll guiding these people on how to make these thumbprints?
Definitely, there will be people. They have it's not just one person. You approach the polling booth, you have an officer who will take your card.
Okay.
You then look at it. Then you go to another person who looks at it again, check if your name is in the register. Then you move on and up to 4 or 5 persons before you are now handed the ballot to go and cast in the cubicle, then come and drop in the open. So there will be
this process. Don't you think this process is too cumbersome?
It's not. It's not. What will also help this exercise is the simultaneous accreditation and voting. Unlike when they said you accredit in the morning, then come later to vote. This time around, as you accredit, you vote. That might help to reduce the time.
Somebody is saying here that the card reader and the PVC are all scam. What is there a question? Is there a question about the use of card readers or PVC?
That is a bogus and overgeneralization.
Yeah, okay, that's okay. Okay, so now the PVC at hand, everything. We have about 84 million persons that registered and about 72.7 million people that actually collected their votes.
Yes.
Is that fair? Is that a good turnout?
There is no reason why anybody who registered should not pick his PVC. That should be what we should aim to do.
In the course of interaction with some persons that voted and couldn't get their PVCs,
yes,
some spent long hours on the queue. They got frustrated. They left.
Yes.
The process, because after this election, the preparation for the next one in 2023 starts now.
Yes.
So these little things, how do we ensure, or how can INEC ensure that these PVCs are delivered, even if it is to the doorsteps of the people?
That is what INEC has to work out, but somehow it has not worked out the way it should. In some places, they want to ensure that you pick your card yourself. While in some other places, that was in 2015, they gave it to district heads or people like that. That ensured that a lot of people in some other parts of the country got more PVCs than some other parts of the country. That is what has to be worked out. But then you can't also rule out manipulation of politicians. There has been, we've had cases of people saying that some indigenous and non-indigenous in some states were not allowed to get their PVCs and all that. That is a form of rigging. You can't rule that out. You can't rule that out. But then it's for you who the importance of your PVC to work hard. Go get it, and then exercise of franchise.
Okay, there is something here again. I'm surprised because I don't think we actually have a sensitization problem, because Nigerians actually took this personally, and I'm still I still have reservations about that figure you quoted the other time about what we should expect from Lagos voters.
Yes.
Because everybody seems to be talking about charging the other person to go and vote. Look at, there's something here from at Frank's Donald. It's just a couple of hours away to the polls. Kindly come out to vote your choice candidate. Together we can mold the future of a great country, Nigeria.
Yes.
INEC has free help from everywhere in the country.
Yes.
Why don't you think that we can get 5 million tomorrow?
It's not possible. Many reasons. I'll just give you 2 or 3.
Okay, please.
Some of those 5.5 million people are dead.
Okay. Okay, but to what?
INEC has not cleaned up its register to say these are those who are alive.
Okay.
That's one. Some people might be ill.
Okay.
Some might have traveled. Some may have misplaced their PVCs and all that. So those are some of the things that can count.
Now let us look at the roles of observers, local
Yes.
observers, international observers, and everybody.
Yes.
In the end, some people will be counting on the judgment of these observers
Okay.
to decide the extent of credibility of this election,
As it's done all over the world.
as
yes.
it's done all over the world.
Okay.
So what role, and we have the international observers, local observers, what role do you think these observers play in deciding what a free and fair election is?
They have a standard.
Okay.
They have the peer review mechanism. You watch in Africa, anytime election is held, the AU will send people, oftentimes led by heads of state. The Commonwealth will send.
Okay.
They go, they see how they follow the processes, not just the voting. They follow the campaigns, nomination of candidates, and all that, up to voting, counting, and announcement of the result.
Mr. Indi,
Those are, yes.
let me remind you, 4 years ago, during the elections, you know, some international observers had judged that election was free and fair, but some quarters, some people came up with some things to say that no, it wasn't free and fair.
Okay.
Everybody is entitled to the opinion.
Yes.
But just how important, or let me ask you, what makes up a free and fair election?
Well, free and fair election. There's something to say. Let me quickly correct that. Observers cannot tell you that an election was free and fair.
But they were
the
on
way
the
you
field.
put it 100%.
But they were
They
on
will
the
say
field.
substantially. Substantially.
Okay, if
They will even mention the flaws, the mistakes here and there,
If
and
the-
say, but substantially, it can be accepted as free and fair. Now, to your question of what we can do to make election free and fair, or what free and fair stands, it starts from the process. The process,
okay,
people who want to contest, all the parties
okay,
should have access. Candidates, anybody who wants to aspire should have the opportunity, you know. And then even candidates campaigning, they should have the space to campaign. They should be allowed to campaign. The government in power should be seen not to be muzzling the opposition.
okay.
That is part of that. And then people who register, people should not be prevented from register.
Okay.
We had instances where people said they wanted to register, but they were not allowed, or they were denied, or they were frustrated. We have cases where they say people wanted to collect their PVCs, they were frustrated. Those are part of things that come to free and fair election. Now, when you have all this, you now get to the last stage of coming out to vote. People should be allowed to come out to vote. They should not be discouraged.
Okay.
They should not be intimidated. Then they should not be harassed into voting for a party that they do not want to vote for, a party or candidate.
Let me ask you quickly, Mr.
Yes.
Nduje. After casting my vote, what should I do?
After casting your vote,
Yes.
the best thing to do is to protect your vote. If you want your vote to count,
How do I protect my vote?
you stay around at a distance, say 100 meters, 200 meters.
Okay.
You observe what is happening.
Okay.
Wait until they announce the result.
Okay.
They paste it You see it. If you want to snap, you snap and all that. You ensure that it counts.
Okay, let me read this finally before we go, and I'm going to give you just 10 seconds to react to it. Say, if our neighbors Ghana can hold elections without having to give holidays, then we need to grow up in Nigeria. Should there be holidays to, before the election, just like we have today?
Ghana has a very profound way of doing these things. Every person in Ghana votes. The security agencies will vote almost a week to the time. All the security agencies, they will vote.
Okay, we are not Ghana. We are almost 10 times bigger than Ghana. So if we decide to go on holidays, if we decide to declare holidays for election, does it make us less civil?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so we can have an holiday just with
we can have an holiday. This is a serious business.
Thank you very much, Mr. NDGN, for coming. I've been talking to the Assistant Deputy Political Editor of Vanguard Media. I've been talking about the preparation of INEC and how to ensure that our vote counts tomorrow. We'll continue to give you updates during the election and even after the election. Please stay with Vanguard Live and ensure that you keep your comments coming. Bye-bye now.